Hey, what is going on, crypto people? What the world's going on? That's indeed. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Another freaking drive time video. I hope the brightness is up enough here for you guys to check it out. But I finally got a morning where it's not 96 degrees at 7:30 in the a.m. here in Tejas, so in Texas. So wanted to do another drive time video. I wanted to talk a little bit about the state of the XRPL. For sure, I'm going to get into that. And also, again, I'm going to share some stuff from that book that I think every digital asset holder should read, which is The Great Taking. You can go to thegreattaking.com and download the PDF for free, read the prologue, and then kind of decide for yourself if you want to continue on. But that book is about, The Great Taking is about taking every single asset that is deemed collateral, and or other assets to meet the shortage of things that are deemed collateral. So that essentially means everything, especially anything that is fiat denominated. Don't know about crypto as of yet. Don't know how that's going to work as of yet. We'll see. We shall see for sure. Let me know in the comments if you did download that PDF. That would be super cool. And I think what I'm going to do, fam, I think in reference to these driving videos, is I'm going to go to another spot that we ultimately decided that we were not going to get to, but it is a nice spot. It's a good place to do some videos as well. For me, not enough of the freaking trees. I love the trees. I love the wide driveways. The wide roads. The roads. Love the really wide roads. So we settled on this one for sure. But we got a little overcast, and so it's barely 80 degrees. So my phone's not gonna fry being up on the dash here. So in any case, thegreattaking.com, download that PDF and let me know, read the prologue, and please let me know if you've done that in the comments. Just comment free PDF. That would be super cool if you did that for sure. So the Great Taking, let me go over the market. I'll talk about the Great Taking later. The market right now is doing what it does. The market is just doing what it does, fam. And my guys, now I'm telling you, my guys, high altitude investing and data dash, and really blockchain backer, really. Look, the market's going to go below some stuff. It's going to go below some stuff. Yeah, so I'm planning on less than 60,000 for BTC. Look, the buyers are just not there. Or as Raoul Paul would say, retail has not entered the market. Raoul Paul always talks about this thing is about liquidity. The digital asset space is about liquidity, and it's not there. Net liquidity, it ain't here, family. It's not here. And I know we've been waiting. We're 99% of us are major altcoins, right? No holders. In other words, we got more altcoins than we have BTC. And the market is not here. The liquidity is just not here. It's just not. For Bitcoin holders, 60-something thousand Bitcoin is like a dream. My guy DataDash says that, and I didn't even think about it. He said, do you realize that there are people in this space right now that have tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars? He said maybe even billions in Bitcoin. And I know there's one guy who definitely does that. I know the Simon Dixon guy from Bank to the Future. He has that because when he had nearly 50 million on Celsius, nearly 50 million Celsius, he said that was like less than 1% of his thing. of his net worth in Bitcoin. And it was 30 to 50 million. Yeah. And he was an ETH investor as well. And a lot of those early BTC guys were ETH investors as well. This dude is screaming through this neighborhood. He's an Amazon Flex driver right there. Like, dude, you gotta slow down. It's 25 miles an hour. I know you gotta get to that next spot. You don't want to get that ding on your phone for being late. I get it. But goodness gracious. Can't be doing 40 and a 25, baby. So, that's a nice spot there, huh? So, in any case, I mean, he was saying, my point was, he was saying that, you know, think about that money. Think about what's going on. And remember, here's the other part. Simon Dixon's just a regular dude, right? He's just a regular dude, right? Think about this, the regular people who discovered this thing, or fortunate enough to have discovered Bitcoin. And, you know, think about what's going on in the world today. Do you not think that people are taking profits on some stuff? And they may not be dumping, if they got 20 million, they may not be dumping 20 million of BTC, but their dollar cost averaging out, right? Right? Their dollar cost averaging out, right? Yeah, and there's not enough people dollar cost averaging in. Because think about the market. Think about how people are doing financially. Do they have money? Do they have extra money? I saw something on who was it? Daniela Camboni. She was interviewing Peter Ange, and she put up a statistic, and the news was average Americans are saying fast food is a luxury. Average Americans are saying McDonald's and especially freaking Chick-fil-A, you know, fast food is a luxury. And then she showed the prices of a hamburger. She showed the prices of a Big Mac that used to be $3.69 is $10. I'm a non-violent person. I'm kind of a, you know, non-violent. If I saw someone spending and it could be a complete stranger. If I saw someone spending $10 on a freaking Big Mac, I would freaking, what? You just spent $10 on something that's gonna kill you. And it's just one of them. $10 for a Big Mac? You better get on that dollar menu thing. That's how alarming that is. Could you imagine? One sandwich. So the thing that I'm thinking is, you got two groups of people in the digital asset space, or looking to get into the digital asset space. Those who are in, they got tens of millions, hundreds of millions. You got people not in this space, and they can't afford to get into the space and buy Bitcoin when they see it mentally at $60-something thousand. So, and ultimately, there's not enough market order buyers in this market. There's not enough, this is nice shade here too. There's not enough market order buyers in the market. It's just what it is. And then you throw on, if there was some average guy around 22 or 23 or 25 or 30 who was mining Bitcoin back in the day, fortunate enough to be able to have mined Bitcoin, you gotta look at the world, what's going on. Sure, they're gonna be taking some profit. They're gonna be dollar cost averaging out. So in the end, man, I love this here, all these trees here. In the end, there's not enough net buyers, market buyers, I should say, market buyers. There are not enough market buyers, market order buyers, as opposed to limit order or whatever. There's just not enough. In other words, there's not enough people coming in and say they got cash and they're going to buy Bitcoin or buy alts, and they're going to just hit market order instead of limit orders, trying to wait for some price. There's not enough market order buyers, right? Raul Paul would say there's not enough liquidity in the market. He says it all the time. The retail are just not here yet. They're not here yet. And probably, in my opinion, they're not going to come. In my opinion, they're probably not going to come until they get some money that's outside or in addition to their job income. Because the job income is barely helping them get by. Barely. And some aren't. Can't tell you how many videos I've seen on X. I can't even tell you. People crying in their cars. They can't afford their rent. They can't afford to pay the utilities. They can't afford to put food on the table. And this is a couple. These are couples. Young couples. It's difficult right now. It's difficult. And so unless there's some type of helicopter money where people will come in and say, I'm going to take a shot here on some stuff, when are they going to get in? The only other thing I could think that would bring this retail people in, or liquidity in, would be that panic if Bitcoin got to 100,000. But how is it going to get to 100,000 if no one's coming in to do the market order buy? So maybe the institutions will come when tokenization, starts to amp up. And the reason why I say that is I think about Ondu Finance, and I think about our portfolio in the Crypto Seizures Home. Think about our portfolio. The thing that is constantly performing, the thing that is constantly always green, has been the token Ondu. ONDO. I think in the last 90 days, or 90 to 120 days, has only been red one day. Most of the time it's been green. And that's from my, because it charts when I got it, when I purchased, my price. So maybe, for example, and I'll talk about RChex a little later, that maybe when the tokenized products get on these ledgers, get on these public chains, maybe, someone like RChex is 50 million in, right? 50 million tokenized, whatever. Maybe that will help it. I don't know. But right now, I plan on seeing less than 60,000 BTC. My guy High Altitude Investing, my guy Data Dash are saying that as well. So that's what I'm looking for. And if that's going to happen, the BTC is ultimately that means it's just going to be some nice discounts on alt when that does happen. So, anyway, that's the market, family. That is the market. Now, let's talk about the state of the XRPL. Is this the one I want? Yeah, I think this is. The state of the XRPL. It's interesting to me. How many feel this way as well? Like, I thought there were pretty significant announcements coming from the XRPL Apex. I thought they were pretty significant stuff. And no price movement. In other words, it's just buyers and sellers. how are people looking at the top 10 tokens and seeing that XRP is the least expensive token in the top 10? Let me say that again, right? You remember how you came into the market? Do you remember? Maybe you got a little Bitcoin to get in. But didn't you kind of look at the top 10 and say, what's the least expensive? Where I could, it's all mental, where I could have more of it rather than less of it. Right? I could have more. I can have more XRP than I can have Ethereum. I can have more XRP than I can Bitcoin. Didn't you come in kind of like that? So I look at that and I say to myself, why aren't people just coming in and market buying XRP? What's going on? I mean, these are announcements. Why aren't people that are in the space not buying XRP? Why aren't they exiting Solana and buying XRP when you see these announcements? XLR integration, FMOS integration. And again, I'm confused on something as well. Crypto Eddie is saying that all this integration is just to the sidechain. It's a sidechain thing. So in the sidechain to the Cosmos ecosystem and the other 60 chains that XLR integrates into. The guy from XLR, he kept saying XRPL and the EVM sidechain. That's what the guy from XLR kept saying. But in any case, there's no need to mid-curve it. There's no need to overthink it. There's going to be integration. There's going to be a wrapped version of XRP for sure. The ledger, XRP ledger, I think will get more exposure. The asset XRP will get more exposure because of this integration. For sure. I think the most important part of this integration, honestly, is developers. And what I mean by that is David Schwartz has said on numerous occasions now, this is his words, there's not a lot of people who know how to build on the XRPL. There's a lot of people who know how to build on XRPL. So maybe this integration by way of FMOS and XLR, maybe this will begin to bring more people in who want to learn how to do it. And you throw in, in addition to that, you throw in the EZA people with their app, which is teaching people and educating people about the XRPL, but more importantly, teaching them how to build on the XRPL. How to build on the XRPL. So currently, just not a lot of people know how to do it. It's a little alarming to hear. I'm excited about XLR. I'm excited about Archax. Again, I'll talk about them a little bit later. I'm excited about these different integrations for sure. And I'm excited about the lending protocol. Not because I'm, this whole, off-chain lending stuff, but more of the people that are going to leverage the lending protocol for on-chain borrowing and lending. And what I mean by that is the off-chain stuff I think is more going to be for institutions. This because I think that David was saying like this application, all that stuff. I don't know about that. We got into retail we got into crypto to not have to go through an interviewing process to be able to borrow and lend. So I don't know about that part of the lending protocol, but people like DexFi.pro will be doing some stuff in terms of lending and borrowing, just like Aave does lending and borrowing. You ain't got to go off chain. You ain't got to go off chain to lend and borrow. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited they're going to have something native to it, because other decentralized apps, people who want to do stuff on chain for lending and borrowing, will be able to leverage that lending protocol once it becomes active. So we'll see how that goes. Archax, again, we're going to see what they're going to do between them and Zonic. Right, Zonic is going to give a lot of projects the opportunity to tokenize stuff on chain. It's really like a I don't want to say a plug-in, but it's really like, okay, here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. We'll help you do it. For tokenization, for people wanting to get into tokenization. So between Zonic and what's it called? Archax, we'll see what kind of liquidity that's going to bring on chain, because we're talking, these are things on chain that are going to be on the XRPL. So we'll see how that is going to go. But it's alarming to see. I saw a post on X. It's kind of going around a little bit. Person was extremely unhappy with the XRPL X. He said it was just a Ripple's marketing thing. It's just a marketing thing from Ripple. And here's what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is this is vast majority. There's a lot of developers on the XRPL that want more stuff, want to be able to do more stuff on the XRPL. And David is not wanting it. He's not having it. And David's answer is, here's this sidechain. Do stuff over there, That's his answer. And these developers want other things. The closest thing I think that's going to have a shot to eventually get on the XRPL is going to be hooks. But David is going to want to make sure it's not going to mess up, what the XRPL does best. It's the bottom line. So that's what it feels like to me. These devs want, other things like hooks, and David is like, nope. And there's nothing that the devs can do. They can't go to some governing body and put in a proposal. Even if they do put in a proposal, in order for it to be looked at by the whole validated group, it has to go through Ripple first. So, there's that. So, from a developer standpoint, there's not much to it that they can, do. I don't know how much EZA is going to help with people building stuff, but it's primarily a payments type thing for this ledger, and it's kind of what it is. But the state of the XRPL, look, it's still top 10 in terms of market cap. For an XRP holder, price movement for any holder in the digital asset space, we don't have the net liquidity. So what I would say is, when you think about Ripple and what they got going on, look at their quarterly reports, look at their annual reports, and see how much selling they're doing of their product. I don't recall them saying any numbers about the sales that they're doing. Their other products, I don't see it. So Ripple's been around for a number of years now. I think these next 3-5 years for Ripple is going to be massively important, pivotal. The stablecoin thing, they got to win it. Just like Jungle was saying, they have to win this stablecoin. They can't muck it up. They have got to get a win. And whether people want to hear it or not, or whether you listen to the XRP entertainment content creators who have, walked themselves in a corner and they can't state the truth because they're hooked up with Link 2, and Ripple's shares is the #1 product on Link 2, so they can't tell you the truth because it doesn't look good. Tell you some truths, not the overall, like some truths, like Cinnamon investment, that didn't work out. Coil investment, that didn't work out, right? Just a Forte, where is that? So, Ripple is taking some L's, and the entertaining content creators can't state that because they're backed into a corner. So what they try to do is say, well, that's being negative. And then that's negative. And then they're going to post something from Les Brown saying, stay away from the negatives, people. Unbelievable. It's laughable. No, just admit, dude, you're in the corner. And just because you don't like the way it looks right now, don't try to blame it on other XRP holders want to know the truth, who articulate the truth. That's the truth. Those have been failures. Now, what's been a huge success? Ripple. The fact that they've been around for longer than 10 years is a massive success. You know how hard it is in business to get to the 10-year mark? Do you know how difficult that is to get to the 10-year mark? Man, you can say why this is this or that is that and what they're doing with XRP. You can say those things, but the bottom line is they got to the 10-year mark, and 90-something% of companies don't get to it. They don't get to it. They don't get to the 10-year mark. So there's that. But I really do think, as a CEO, you can't just run around with the and your track record is a bunch of L's. Brad Garlinghouse is on a timer. In my opinion, he's on a timer. He can't just keep walking around taking L's. I don't know what the 1700 NDA things is. I don't know what that is. I mean, what does that mean? I don't know. For me, a lot of it feels like it's fluff. David Schwartz talked about the banks who, wanted to kind of do things just to kind of have it look a kind of certain way. To kind of pretend that they got interest in DLT. So there's that as well. So I don't know what the 1700 people want to talk about, these 1700 NDA agreements. Okay, what does it mean? Where's the fruit on the tree, baby? How long are NDAs gonna last? How long are NDAs lasting? So, which regulatory? We're waiting for regulations. All right, we'll see. We're gonna see when and if Fit 21 gets its thing and starts clearing up some stuff. We're gonna see what that means. We're gonna see what it means, because right now I just don't know what it really means. We'll see. Hopefully it'll give the clarity that they need. We'll see about these 1700 NDA agreements. Apparently, we'll see. But yeah, I feel like Garlinghouse is on. It got a little timer. It's been 10 years, right? I think it's been 10 years. And I don't know. I don't know if there are any wins besides the case. Again, I don't know. What can they, ODL, Liquidity Hub? Liquidity Hub, they tried something, it didn't work, right? Didn't work, so that's that. But the state of the XRPL and the digital asset XRP, again, I think, this Axelar thing is going to be nice. Evmos is going to be nice. We'll see if Archax and Zonic are going to bring tokenization players onto the XRPL. We got to look to see about that. So, but for me, I'm not selling my XRP. I think it'll do its thing if we get a net positive liquidity inflow. We got to get it. And I don't think it's going to come unless we get people get some extra cash. And the only way I see people getting extra cash is going to be from QE. So we'll see. Rate cuts, something's got to happen. We'll see if that happens, but that's market dependent. The reason why I get so heavily into DeFi is because it's not market dependent. You can earn $10, $20 a day. You can earn $100 a day. You can learn the skills to be hugely successful in that arena, and I think that is the avenue to go for sure. In addition to obviously the DCA, just dollar cost averaging in and trying to live your life at the same time. So we'll see how that goes. But in any case, I'm not selling my XRP. I believe these recent events from the XRPL Apex 2024, I think it's going to be hugely positive for Ripple. I think integration is huge. I think that access to 60 plus ecosystems, right? You could say chains, but ultimately it's an ecosystem of communities, 60 communities, right? And then it's going to be upon Ripple X, I think, to provide a liquidity incentive event for those other chains to come over to the XRPL to get involved in liquidity pools, get involved in any lending and borrowing that might happen on the XRPL, whatever dApp that might build something. But for me, they're gonna have to do some liquidity events. I don't know what Orchestra Finance is going to turn into, but I know that Ripple seems to that project seems to be their favorite, or at least one of their favorites. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But in any case, I just wanted to kind of get on here, do a little drive time video. I know I've rambled a bit, but I wanted to share that. Oh, I got to do my great taking thing. Why am I going to do that? I want to read some little thing from the PDF for great taking. And let's do this here because I think it's important. Just a couple of things here. You guys can enjoy the awesome view for sure. What do I want to share first? These are just some few things that I highlighted. Nothing that crazy. And I might have grabbed the wrong batch, but this will work. There's one thing from it. It says the systematic psychological manipulation of society begun with the evils of the Great War has continued nonstop and has escalated to the point that we are now subject to full spectrum, continuous psychological operations. The entire financial, this is another thing that I just, and again, no particular order, that I highlighted. The entire global financial complex is essentially a big perpetuity, a financial instrument with no fixed maturity date. The prices of all fixed income instruments are determined by interest rates, and all equity market and commercial real estate values are similarly driven. The Fed has now increased the funds rate from near zero in April of 2022 to more than 5% in just a year. The Fed is sharply increasing rates because remember, it went from 0 to 5% in just a year. The Fed is sharply increasing rates into economic weakness and a banking crisis. This is exactly what was done in the Great Depression. And they are doing this with a bizarre and cruel justification of fighting wage growth. When the everything bubble is imploded, we will face a deflationary depression, which will span many years, even decades. This coming great deflation is intrinsic to the great taking. He calls what we're in right now a hybrid war. He says the hybrid war, it can be stopped, but stopping it begins in your mind. Highly encourage you guys to grab that. Highly encourage you guys to grab thegreattaking.com, download the PDF, read the prologue. This dude is talking about everything has been set up legally, that this class of people called the protected class, think of JP Morgan, the protected class has now positioned themselves legally to take your assets. And just think of any asset. Think of any asset. And they set it up so that it's legally done at the state level, at the federal level. They got it all now where it's legally done. And there's only one state that has discovered this and is unwinding that at the state level. And that is, he said it was he believed it was South Dakota. So, in any case, look into it. See if it makes sense to you. You're going to get familiar with the Uniform Commercial Code, Articles 8 and 9. That's a real thing. And you'll read it. You'll read it. And if you read it, you can ask a securities lawyer what that means, and they're going to tell you what it means, and it's going to be alarming to you. If you guys are in the Jimmy Valet group, have him go over that and have him tell you what that really means. He'll know. Articles 8 and 9. And you can Google it, and you can get the Uniform Commercial Code, and just ask him. He's going to know. He is going to know. All right, fam. So there it is. Again, let me know in the comments that you downloaded that free PDF. Just put free PDF in the comments. That'd be super cool. I'll respond to that. And listen, I'm going to end this drive time video like I do all my videos, and remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this. Perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.